Hello, welcome to the bucket. Welcome to the bucket. This is our first ever recorded episode, and you're catching us during Bucket Bells, baby. Our Christmas movie spectacular. Woo! Yay! Let's go. Let's go. The Bucket, of course, the show where we are on our quest to try and find the greatest movie of all time. I'm Ben.
I'm Rachel.
There you go. There you go.
I'm Colin. Yay. Woohoo.
And guys, I don't think we gotta announce the time or anything on this boy because
No,
we're
we don't.
yeah, hey.
This is a lawless wasteland.
Yeah, this is no one's listening to us live right now. That's it's a little sad, honestly. But it's okay because this will be going out on our YouTube for the whole world to see. And yeah, this month we pretty much got some epic Christmas movies for you guys. We each chose a Christmas movie, and we are starting with Rachel's pick this week, which is Black Christmas. Black Christmas.
Yay!
Sorry.
I would like to make a distinction. Black Christmas in 1974.
That's
not
correct. That's
any
correct.
Of the other remakes.
Because there's two other
Guys, what's your
remakes.
policy on swearing?
I think we got to keep it to a
No
minimum on the
swearing,
YouTube.
right?
Yeah, we got to keep it to
I
a
agree.
minimum on the YouTube. I can bleep you though. I can bleep you. If it happens, it happens.
If it happens, it happens. Okay, because there are, like, I don't know. Yeah, I agree. I think there's like 2 or 3 other remakes.
Yeah,
And they're
2006
bad, all of
and 2019. Bad, really. That's interesting.
Well, 2019 is technically like stylized as Black Xmas, and I say
Huh.
token die.
Do you
Anyway,
have you seen
it's
both
fine.
of?
It's okay.
Yeah,
I've seen the 2019 one, and I said, "Boo."
you like the
So,
original.
you know.
Yeah, I'm curious.
I
Have
do
you
like the original
guys?
because I'm a trans.
Yeah. Have you guys seen this going in? This was another movie that I went in completely blind. Have not seen this. I know Rachel, you're a big fan. What about you, Colin?
I had a passing knowledge of this movie just because I've heard about it. I'd never seen it. I was very impressed.
I was too.
Well, during our Halloween
Yeah.
episode, Nathan was like, "It's the first ever slasher film," and I said, "Wrong. It's not the first ever
That's
slasher
right.
film. Black Christmas is the first ever slasher film," and he was like, "Well, both of them are considered, but like the first slasher film," and I said, "That's not how that works, Nathan. All of our funding's gonna leave."
Yeah, let's
Anyway.
slander the man who writes the checks. We certainly should.
Slander the guy who gave us the bigger budget.
The bucket budget,
The
even.
bigger budget. The bigger. I was
The
about to
bigger
say
bucket
the bigger
bucket.
budget.
That's us. That's us, baby. Yeah, certainly. Yeah, I really like this one. I definitely, as we've discussed in previous episodes, I'm not the biggest horror movie fan. This was awesome. I was very scared during this, even though it's old and it like there's some like corn to it. But yeah, it is scary and it is really good. Yeah.
It is.
What were your guys's? Yeah. Should we just jump into a recap, or do we want to? I don't know. Do we want to talk about anything else before we dive in? Maybe we should announce our other
let me-
movies.
Oh yeah, we definitely should.
Yeah.
Well, we're starting Bucket Bells off with Black Christmas. This
That's
is the
right.
first of Bucket Bells. Our second movie is going to be Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
That's
the Jim
right.
Carrey one.
The Jim Carrey
Um,
version,
I was
which is
gonna
my
say,
pick.
I think it came out. Yes, it's Ben's pick. I think it.
That's a
came
2000.
out
That's a 2000
Jim
movie.
Carrey-
Certainly.
Yep. And then the other one that is Colin's pick is The Holdovers, which came out in 2023.
Really? Oh.
So it's gonna be a little yes.
I don't
It
even.
won some Oscars, if I remember right.
Yeah,
I don't
big
even
old
know
award
what that
season,
is.
darling.
Yes, I was gonna say everyone everyone
Oh.
jerked it off for the award season.
Colin, are you seeing
Sorry.
Rachel as kind of a crystallized cubic mess right now, or is that just me?
Oh, she's back.
Oh, she is back. She is back.
Welcome back.
You did
I didn't do anything.
you did get sucked
That's
into the
terrifying.
you
I
got
hate
sucked into the grid for just a moment.
Yeah.
You were spending time with Jared Leto for
Overcooked,
just a
cooking
spell.
How could you say this? Evil.
You love Jared. You love Jared. Cool guys. Should we dive into our little plot synopsis here? Yeah, and just to get people familiar with the structure of the show, if you haven't seen Black Christmas, that's totally okay. If you're worried about spoilers, this maybe isn't the video for you. But yeah, we're gonna go through, do a little recap, plot synopsis of the movie, just so you're on our level, and then we're gonna kind of talk about our thoughts, things we liked, things we didn't, and then we're gonna catalog it into our bucket charts, which are, I think like most movie critics use our charts to kind of figure out what movies are good and what movies are bad, because
Well,
it is,
With
yeah.
the caveat of
Well,
train spotting.
yeah, there's been some controversial
actually-
movies.
They actually widely disregard train spotting.
Really?
Because it was just
Really?
too low, they said. Yeah, they said it was too low. So they just throw that one out and they say the rest is pretty okay. We get that. But train spotting, you know.
Yeah, that's interesting for sure. I'm
Yeah.
just not sure about that. Yeah, that's kind of our format. And let's do a little recap. I can start us off if you guys would like.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so this movie takes place 1970s. Anybody got my bag here? 1974? 1974? Yeah. 1974. And it takes place in a sorority in Bedford, England. That's right, guys. We have yet another British setting. Which actually we've had maybe just one other in Shaun of the Dead. But hey, I'm not gonna judge it harshly just because of the British setting this time, okay? We're gonna be, yeah, we're gonna be unbiased here. Yeah, so we start in Bedford, England. It takes place in a sorority house. Did anybody catch the college that it takes place in?
No.
I thought it was maybe kind of one of the big ones because it looked kind of
I-
churchy, which I thought was kind of interesting.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was like Oxford or something like that.
But yeah, we're introduced to our cast of sorority girls living in the house. Our main girl is Jess Bradford. She and her boyfriend Peter are going through some things at the moment. We also have Barb, my goat. She's kind of a little bit more messy. Barb is very, very fun. We have Phyllis.
That's a problematic fave.
Barb is a problematic queen. We have Phyllis. Phyllis just kind of there. She's just another girl to fill out the roster, I think. And then we have Claire as well, which, Claire goes through some stuff in this movie. Those are like the main girls, and we also are introduced to Barbara. Oh wait, what? Is
That's
this
Barb, babe.
Yeah.
who's the house lady? Like the house mother.
Mrs. McHenry. That's what they call her.
Her name on
They call her Mrs. Mac.
her name is Barbara McHenry. So her name's Barbara
That's
as well.
crazy.
That must be, yeah.
They call
In a
They call her
movie,
Mrs. Mac. Mrs. McHenry.
I understand people having the same name in real life, and it gets confusing. But in a movie, surely you could name the characters different things.
You could not do that.
It seems that there was a better option. But yeah, this movie starts out really creepy as we see an unseen man, don't see his face, sneak up their little trellis and get into their attic as they're having a big old Christmas party bash with a bunch of other people that go to the college. At this point, they get a creepy phone call over their phone. 1974, so technology kind of plays a fun role in this movie as we see some old technology being very important to the plot, which was awesome actually. Yeah, their phone rings and we get a nasty man on the other line. This guy is spilling profanities to these women. It's tough to hear actually.
It's bad. It's very bad. They call him like the moaner. And if you watch the movie, you'll see why. But I feel like the name is pretty self-explanatory in of itself. But
yeah, he
I
says
hate
some like, yeah, he is really scary over the phone. This guy, he says some like nasty stuff, but he also just gets weird at some points. He mimics a baby crying. He mimics like a woman's voice. It's alarming for sure.
Jess answers the phone, and she hands the phone off to Barbara, and Barbara is also saying like profanities back to the moaner.
Yeah.
And then the moaner gets like mad at her and is like, I'm going to kill you, and then hangs up. And that's the end of the phone call.
Yeah,
That's
tough. Tough for sure. Yeah, it also is scary because we see this man enter this house act 1 and we know he's there the entire time. And it is that thing of, I forget what it's called, but when you have information that the characters don't know, that's the entire movie, and it's dreadful.
Dramatic irony, I'm pretty
Dramatic
sure. Dramatic
irony? That would make sense. That would make
I'm
sense.
pretty sure.
Yep. That night, we see Claire, one of the girls. She's a little bit more innocent. She didn't like Barb saying the profanities over the phone. She's like, "You're gonna provoke him." She goes upstairs to pack because it is Christmas. This is a Christmas movie. We mustn't forget. Yeah, some of the girls are leaving for Christmas break. Claire's packing her stuff when the man slips out of the attic, hides in her closet, and he gets her. And that scene was really scary. Him like in her closet behind like the little like dress sleeves.
I would like to note that while they were on the phone with the moaner, there's a Motab shout out. They shout out the Mormon Tabernacle Choir.
They do.
I'm so sorry.
Oh yeah.
I was reading through my notes. I got so excited, and it is in there. Motab shout out. Anyways, so sorry. Back to Claire.
No.
Claire. Hey, shout out Motab.
Yeah, it is always interesting to see Utah in the limelight, you know?
Well, I'm like, this is England. What?
Yeah.
I didn't know Motab had that big of a reach.
Oh, they have reach.
They have reach.
They have range. They have range even. I mean, they can sing. Let's say it. They've got pipes.
Let's say it.
They have many pipes, actually. That's
Yeah.
kind of the whole thing.
Oh
It's
my
the
gosh.
pipes.
That's the whole thing. They're a choir.
Yeah.
Anyways,
so Claire dies.
Yeah, so Claire's dead. Rest in peace.
Yeah. Claire, there's like this cat, what's his name? Claude.
Okay.
There's this fluffy little cat, Claude, that comes into the room, and he's like kind of moseying around doing Claude cat stuff, you know? And he like I don't know, he like wanders somewhere, and then she thinks that like the person in the closet is Claude or something like that. She just keeps saying, "Who's there? Who is there? Who are you?" I don't think you're gonna get an answer to that, Miss Thing. The killer takes like all my fellow ladies out there. You know how when you buy a prom dress or something like that, it comes in a big plastic bag. It comes in a big plastic bag. She has like 2 or 3 of those hanging up in her closet, and then he like grabs her.
Gets her. He gets her.
A plastic bag. You just and so like she's like smothered by the plastic bag, and that's how she stays for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, we get this really scary shot of her, like, he takes her up to the attic afterward, puts her in a chair, and this scary shot of her, like, with the bag over her face, mouth open, out the window, and that's, like, that's the title image of the movie, I think, right?
I was gonna say, that's
the iconic
motif that they even use in the poster. So it's, like, it's pretty well known, you know, it's not a surprise.
Claire doesn't make it. But
Claire
yeah.
doesn't make it. Rest her soul.
Yeah, the next morning, Claire's dad, Mr. Harrison, arrives. He is trying to, pick her up for Christmas break, and he's kind of scrambling around the campus because he cannot find his daughter. She did not meet him at the spot she was supposed to. He meets up with the house mother, Mrs. Mack, and yeah, she offers to help him out. They meet up with some of the other people as well. And at this point, we cut to Jess and her boyfriend, and this is kind of an important part of this movie with their relationship dynamic, because Jess is pregnant, and Peter, the boyfriend, wants to keep the baby. Jess does not want to keep the baby, and Peter's kind of a little bit of like a piano artsy diva, so he's very dramatic in all of his scenes, and is like he's upset, which is understandable, and it's, I don't know, it's just a very interesting dynamic in this movie between.
I want to say the green turtleneck sweater he's wearing, and the little the blazer he puts on top of it with those like the plaid, the brown plaid pattern, tells me everything I need to know about this guy.
He was
right
styling.
Away. I'm like, oh, I know this type. I've
Mhm.
met this man before.
I'm gonna be so honest. This movie is so quintessentially 70s in almost every single
Yeah.
aspect of it. And I think that's why I love it. Because, like, when we go into Claire's room, her wallpaper is like this. I don't know. It looks almost felt, if that makes sense, or it looks like velvet. And you know the wallpaper where it has like texture on it, and it's like this floral, mustardy yellow color. It's phenomenal. Don't get me wrong, but it's so quintessentially 70s. All of the fashion is quintessentially 70s.
Yeah.
But when you look at Peter and his little like hairdo, he looks like a douchebag, I fear.
Yeah. There is a funny bit of Mr. Harrison in the sorority house and seeing some of their posters up, which are like, there's like a peace and love movement poster. There's like a few other posters that have like innuendo on them. And Mr. Harrison is being like, huh, I sent my daughter here to learn. What is all this? And Mrs. Mack is kind of doesn't really care. Mrs. Mack has this bit where she has alcohol hidden all over this house. She has like a little flask hidden in a book, one hidden in like a closet.
She's
She
like,
yeah.
B for booze, and then
Yeah.
opens the book. There's a cutout for a bottle of booze.
Awesome.
And I think that's so amazing of her.
Which, if your job was to be a house mother for a bunch of college girls, I mean, come on, you gotta let loose a little bit.
The one in the toilet was
There's
kinda
a
creepy,
scene.
though.
Yeah, what was that about?
Crazy.
Toilet
I mean,
booze?
it's not like I should clarify. It's not in the bowl. It's just in like the tank that sits behind
It's
it.
yeah,
right? So, like, there's
it's
the bowl here, the tank. So it's in the tank.
it's the
That
upper
still
decker.
That cannot be safe.
No, no.
That's still toilet. That's
still
all
toilet.
toilet, baby.
Toilet is toilet. Keep your
Yeah.
alcohol out of the bathroom. That's not safe.
Exactly. There is a bit when Mrs. McHenry and Mr. Harrison, or Claire's dad, are in Claire's room. There's a poster of these two naked people.
Yeah.
And like their bodies make like a peace sign. And it's like a big poster. All right? Mrs. Mack, she like puts her hand over their like butts. It's their bare butts. And she like keeps moving so you can't see it, and then she walks out of the room later, and then he like opens the door to see it fully. I was like, it's such a weird little bit because obviously anyone with a brain could figure out what that poster looked like.
Yeah, for sure.
And so it's just
it was awesome.
Anyways, moving on.
Yeah.
So Mr. Harrison, Claire's dad, Barb and Phil, they go to the police station to try and report Claire's disappearance to one of the police officers. The police officer is very, very dismissive.
Yeah.
And he is not taking them seriously at all, and Barb is like not having it. At one point, Barb is, I think it's during this point, but I might be jumping ahead a little bit. He's asking for their like phone number so he can like track their thing. And I forget the exact word that they use.
Fellatio.
Or not word, but like well, it's fellatio, but I don't remember what it like is supposed to stand for. But she was like, it's a new area code or whatever. FE, fellatio. Mm-hmm. And she like says fellatio and she spells it and she's like trying not to laugh the entire time. I love that bit. So phenomenal.
Yeah.
Jess goes to visit Chris, Claire's boyfriend, who is wearing a terrifying hockey mask. He's playing hockey. I would like to say he is playing hockey. However, worst hockey mask I've ever seen in my entire life.
I thought it had a nice shade of blue on it. I kind of liked it.
He looked like a villain.
It was just...
I kind of liked it.
He did look like a villain. So Jess goes to discuss the fact that like Claire has never shown up to her house. So Chris storms into the police station and is like, what do you mean you're not taking this seriously? My girlfriend's missing. And like is kind of going on this little tirade, and he's like demanding that they do something about it. And they do. They listen to Chris. They being the police officers. And then that night, a search party gathers to go find both to see if they can find both Claire and another missing little girl. She's a high schooler, but they're trying to find both of them. So they search around this park, and they end up finding the teenage girl's body, but they don't find Claire. And Mrs. Mack, she comes back to the house, and she goes up into the attic to go look for Claude. While she's in the attic, she finds Claire's body, and Claire's body is in a rocking chair, with the plastic over her head, and that's how she stays for the entire movie. Fun little fact: that's like a real actress under there,
really?
and every time that they had to every time they had to shoot with her, she would like tear a hole into the nostrils and the mouth and put them in her mouth, and that way she could like kind of breathe. But the actress was also like a swimmer, so the actress could what's the word? She could like hold her breath for a long time.
That's
But
dedication
I'm
to
like,
the art.
that feels a little inhumane. That's neither here nor there. In the attic, we have the little intruder. He's been dwelling up there the entire time. And he sees Mrs. Mack pop her little head up, and then Mrs. Mack like makes eye contact with him. And he has this like hook in their attic.
You know,
I
attic
don't
hooks.
know.
Attic hooks.
Attic hooks. Yeah.
Well, they're in
right.
case a murderer
I'm so
gets
sorry.
into your attic and needs a weapon. Yeah.
You're right. I'm so sorry. That's my bad. It's my bias is showing.
Yeah.
But basically he like swings the hook, and Mrs. Mack, she's not here anymore. Mrs. Mack is dead. Jess receives another phone call from the moaner, and she decides to involve the police.
Sergeant Nash is like the cop who's just so stupid in this movie. So Claire calls and is like, hey, someone's calling me and they're being really weird. And then Sergeant Nash is like, whatever, lady. And then like the main Lieutenant Fuller is like, hey, that's the same house that the girl's missing. Oh, Rachel, you're being sucked into the grid again.
No, Rachel, come back.
Rachel, no! Jared Leto, you can't have her. Jared Leto, no.
Stay back. Stay back.
Okay, yeah, sorry. We had a slight technical issue. We got camera switched. But yeah, where were we? Oh yeah, I think I was explaining, Jess calls the police. Police aren't really listening to her about the calls. But, you know, eventually the lieutenant is like, hey, maybe we should try to trace those calls. Yeah, they go to the house. All the police people and a little mechanic guy go to the house to try to trace the call. They interrupt Jess having another argument with her dear boyfriend. Peter's being a little monster.
Yes, Peter is a monster. Peter, yeah, he is like so angry. He's like, well, what's gonna happen is that I'm not gonna be a part of the conservatory anymore, and we're gonna get married. And Jess is like, no, I still want to like do things with my life. And Peter's like, well, you can still do those things. And she's like, I don't want to have a child, and I don't want to marry you. And then he's like, you're gonna be sorry. And then like leaves. And right as he's like storming out, I want to say it's Phil and Barb come back with the lieutenant, and Phil, Barb, and Chris, if I remember right. They come back with the lieutenant and somebody else from the phone company to trace the call.
Yeah.
And they have to like install all this old stuff in like the cradle of the phone. It's so silly. After the guy leaves, and I think you did say, but yeah, they have to make sure that they keep the caller on the line for like a long amount of time, because you will see this later in the movie, but they have these huge room of, is it switches? I don't remember what they're called.
Yeah, it's like the operating center, right?
This huge room. So this guy has to go around with a receiver in his hand, and then it has like a cord, and it has like an inputter at the other end of it. And he has to run around trying to figure out where the call is coming from. And that's how they have to trace the call. So they have to keep him on for like that long while this guy is running around trying to find where the call is coming from. So after they leave, some Christmas carolers come in. This, I don't know, phenomenal children's choir shows up, knocks on the door, starts singing songs. And Jess is just, hey, can I be so real
quick? Yeah.
I am so happy that carolers aren't a thing anymore.
Yeah.
She has to just stand there and like smile and like, oh wow, I couldn't do that. I'd be exhausted.
You couldn't do it.
I can't have people singing to me.
Are carolers
It,
even
like,
like a real thing, like in real life? Were they ever? Or did they
Surely.
just kind of like, they just kind of needed like people in movies were like, how do we convey that it's Christmas to an audience?
Actually, maybe.
Hold on a minute.
Who
I mean,
knows?
I'm gonna be
Music.
honest. When I was a kid, I had the young men and young women's group come around from my ward, and they would sing Christmas songs. They did that, but that was when I was 9 years old.
Yeah.
So
We're not seeing many
I
carolers these
ever
days.
Anyway, these carolers
volunteer.
are evil.
Yeah,
These
they
carolers are
do
evil.
they do distract Jess.
Because they distract Jess. She goes down, and there's Barb. There's Barb. She gets back. She falls back asleep. She's recovered. Hooray! No more asthma.
So
Forever.
She
before,
did have an asthma attack, yeah.
Jess,
And she was really drunk, so.
yeah, before the carolers come in, Barb is having asthma attack because she had a night that somebody came into her room. An intruder was in her room, and she's like, I should be so lucky to have a stranger in my room, or something like that. And Jess like calms her down, and then there's a knock on the door, and it's the carolers. And so she's kind of like, the way this house is set up is a little weird. It has like the front door leading to the outside, and then there's like a mud room area that's kind of tiny, and then there's like the door that leads to the inside. So she's like looking out to the door that leads to the outside, like past the vestibule, and I'm assuming that the door leading to the inside is closed. But while Jess is talking to while Jess is experiencing the carolers, Barb is getting murdered, I fear.
Yeah.
Barb has this very eclectic collection of glass figurines, which I feel like does not fit her personality at all. But she has like this huge collection of glass figurines, and she gets murdered with this unicorn figurine. And I was like, oh, I don't know. I would have thought the glass would have broke, but I just work here, man. While this is happening, or not while this is happening, Jess gets another call in the house. During this call, the caller starts echoing sentiments that were said during her argument with Peter.
Yeah.
I cannot remember exactly what the statement was. That's my issue, I think.
Yeah, something about the baby though. So she's like, "Oh." She maybe does think it's Peter for a second, but she's hesitant to tell the police that because she doesn't want Peter to get in trouble. Poor Peter. Yeah, we're kind of at the kind of final act of this movie as things become a little more intense. But yeah, the detective is suspicious of Peter, so he goes off and goes to the school to try and find Peter because Jess is like, whenever he's feeling down, he goes and plays the piano. But we see Peter kind of skulking outside of the house. Concerning.
Skulking. Also, there's a scene where Peter likes to spend a lot of his time in a practice room because that's his whole shtick. Peter takes like a mic stand or something like that and just goes to town on this grand piano.
Yeah.
And it's, hey honey, that's not your piano. This is probably, we're assuming, Oxford's piano. That's gonna cost thousands of dollars. You're cooked.
Yeah. So at this point, they're girls. It's just Jess and Phil. Barb is upstairs. They think she's sleeping. She's not sleeping. They try to lock up the house because they're scared that maybe Peter is the one who's going to come and get them. But Phil goes in to find Barb, and we do not see Phil go out of that room. So it's just Jess in the house. And I think at this point, Jess gets another call, and this call, she stays on long enough for the people at the operator area to trace the call. The lieutenant gets it and finds out that the killer, the call is coming from inside the house, which, yeah, inside the house, horrible.
Is that where that phrase comes from?
It must be so scary.
Fun fact, it actually was, before this movie, it was something that was like popularized in the 50s or the 60s, where it was like a like urban legend where like, oh, like my friend knew a friend who knew a friend who was like babysitting, and she got a mysterious phone call, and the police said that the call was coming inside of the house or something like that. And so this is like actually a play on that whole thing.
It is like a classic horror trope, I feel like.
So it's like a movie based around a urban legend, kind of just like putting that into like making that a concept for a horror movie.
It makes sense a little bit, yeah. This is a really funny part because the lieutenant calls Nash, like the stupid sergeant cop, and is like, "Hey, get the girls out of the house. Just tell them to put down the phone and leave the house. Do not tell them that the killer's inside the house. Don't freak them out." And so, Jess picks up the phone, and Nash is like, "Hey, hang up, leave out the front door right now." She's like, "What? Why?" She's like, "Okay, I gotta go get Phil and Barb." Phil and Barb are dead. You do not need to go get Phil and Barb. She doesn't know that. Instantly, Nash breaks. Is like, "It's in the house. He's in the house." It's like, no, you were told one thing. Nash.
She hears, "Oh, the killer's in the house. Oh, let me go grab Phil and Barb." I understand the sentiment, but I also understand that it's like the horror movie trope. The horror movie trope hasn't been done yet, right? I'm pulling hair out because she's going back to get Phil and Barb, and I'm losing my mind. And she breaks down a door, and she finds Phil and Barb dead. Or she doesn't break down the door. She does, because the door was locked.
Was it? This is the scariest image of this movie for sure.
So the door is open, right? And you know how like when your door is open, you can kind of see where the hinge meets the frame. There's like always a little crack because obviously the door has to open. Hey, his eyeball's there. Hey, we can see the killer through the thing. That's fine. I hated it. It was horrible and terrible, and I hated every minute of it.
Which, yeah, I will say as well, this movie, it does the thing where it doesn't show you the killer all the way at all, which is awesome. And like, it's what makes the monster in any horror movie so scary. And the fact that like he's either in shadow or just you see part of his face, but you never see like him fully.
She sees the killer's eyeball through the door crack. Terrifying. Once again, I strongly urge you to, one, watch this movie. It's my favorite movie. Two, if you don't watch the movie, Google this scene because it's terrifying. If you want nightmares, what a great way to find them. Anyways, she like slams the door back into the killer, and so it like hits him, and he's like, "Rah!"
He's moaning,
and then he be moaning. She runs down the stairs, and she runs into the basement, and she locks the door. We see the door lock. It's one of those slide locks, and we see that like bounce as the killer is like hitting the door, if that makes sense. And so then all of a sudden it stops. Terrifying. And so Jess is kind of moving around downstairs trying to figure out what to do, and she sees like this dark figure go around the basement windows and try and like look in. There's a scene where it's like all black and he's just like pressed up like this against the window. I hated that. And she is like kind of moving around, and then Peter, we see that it's Peter. This dark figure is Peter, her boyfriend. And he is like, Jess, are you in there? Jess, it's me. Jess, open up, Jess, open up. And he like scratches off the window, or like the frost on the window. And he is like, "Oh, Jess, like, what are you doing down here?" And he breaks the window. Terrifying. Hated it. And she kind of like hides because she is very convinced that it's Peter at this point. And Jess ends up killing him with the fire poker that she brought with him. Mm-hmm. And the police arrive because the police were on the way. This all happens within like 5 or 10 minutes, right? The police were already on their way because when they traced the phone call, they were like, it's coming from inside the house. And there's this really funny scene with the lieutenant where the lieutenant's like, "No, you idiot. The call's coming from that house." And they were like, "It's coming from there too." Bom, bom, bom.
Bom, bom, bom.
Anyway.
Yeah, they had a policeman sitting outside in a car for the entire night, and they try to call him, but it turns out he's been murdered too, which we could talk about it later, but how? Like, I don't know.
Jess kills her boyfriend with the fire poker, and the police come and they find Peter dead, and Jess is barely like conscious.
Yeah.
And everybody assumes that Peter was the killer, and so Jess is in the bedroom, or like in her bedroom in the sorority house.
They don't take her to a hospital. They just put her in the house. I'm like,
They have like a doctor, and he's like, she'll be out for like 4 hours. You can talk to her then. So like, there's one police officer who's here to like keep watch with her, and she's like knocked out conscious. And so we see this like slow pan to each of the girls' rooms. So we see the slow pan from Claire's room to Barb's room to like Phil's room, I think. But we see this pan, and then it pans slowly up to the attic, and then we hear from the attic the killer's voice again, and then the hatch opens, and then the phone rings again in the house.
Yep.
And we see
huge, both the bodies still up there as well.
Yeah, both of the bodies are still up there, and we see this huge shot of the house, and there's a police officer outside the house who's like smoking or whatever, and then we hear the phone ring, and then credits roll. That's it, baby. That's Black Christmas.
I knew it was gonna end there, and I was so upset. I was like, no. Oh, that's my gosh. Baby. So scary. Yeah. So scary.
I have seen the movie. I think this was my 3rd or 4th time watching it.
Really?
I have seen this movie so many times. Really, at like the beginning of the 3rd act, I had to take a break. I had to like stop it for a minute, and then I had to be like I had to go take a breather. It was that bad. I think maybe my what's the word? My tolerance for horror movies has gone down a little bit, but it was truly terrifying again for me. It was so scary.
It is really scary. So, you say this is your favorite movie? Like full stop?
It's not my favorite movie.
Okay.
Favorite Christmas movie, but it is like a 5-star banger movie for me. I love this movie so much.
Yeah, I like this movie a lot too, and yeah, I will say the final act, there is like a lot of like, you don't really know what's going on, because like you said, Jess kills Peter, but it doesn't show that. Like, it's not very clear about that. It kind of cuts to black like right there. So it is just kind of the police discovering, the body of Peter and Jess unconscious. I think they're deliberate about not being too like spelling out everything that actually went down. And we don't find out who the killer is at all in this movie. It's just a crazy guy. He like kept saying some like cryptic stuff. He obviously was like insane, because he, he's the moaner. He like made a lot of weird noises. He was like afraid to get in trouble for what he was doing. He was like, "Don't tell Agnes what I did," when Jess finally finds him. Him being in the attic as well, being a little attic lurker and like dragging his first victim up there is like, oh my god, dude.
That's something that's so scary for me, because have you guys ever heard of frogging?
Yes. This is like a very common fear. The idea of somebody living in your house without you knowing. This is Parasite as well. Is frogging.
Yeah, that's true. You're right.
They
so
like
frogging is this like on that. Let me like double check that I get it like correct. But basically, it's like a thing where people secretly live inside someone else's house. That's like the whole thing. They move around at night, or like they do things at night in order to, like, they don't have to pay rent, they don't have to do stuff like that. And usually, like, I don't know, it's just something that's so terrifying that your like safe space in your house is compromised.
Yeah,
you know,
it's invaded.
It's compromised. Yeah. And so like this is so scary to have like somebody who can just climb up your trellis and like live in your attic. Terrifying. Hate that.
Yeah. I really, the fact that it does go unresolved and it ends at a place where Jess is sleeping alone in the house again with the killer in the attic, and all the police like are just gonna assume it's Peter. Like, she's gonna wake up. So that's interesting, because what I thought went down is that the killer somehow got down there, killed Peter, knocked her unconscious, and went upstairs. But I think it makes
No.
more sense that she killed Peter, so she is just gonna still believe that things are resolved, which is like even more scary. And like
So
both the bodies in the attic aren't found, which, nightmare.
the way that I always interpreted it is like, okay, when the killer is like banging on the door, and then there's that pause, and she has that time to kind of recon, and she can like kind of walk around. That is me taking that like pause as the killer going back upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
He's going back in the attic, and then I think it's just a coincidence that Peter comes back. Like, that's my assumption, is that Peter comes around and he's like trying to find Jess. I think the killer heard Peter trying to come in, and then the killer went back upstairs, and then Peter trying to get into the house somehow. That's how I always interpret it.
I did think for a second that maybe Peter was involved. I didn't think he was the person in the attic, but I maybe thought he had something to do with it. But yeah, they just fully revealed at the end that he kind of didn't, and he was just kind of a bystander. But the killer does kind of look like Peter at some points. Like, you do see him over Barb's bed with the unicorn, and you like just see his eyeballs. He's like in shadow, but it kind of looks like Peter a little bit. It looks like he's wearing something long sleeved. So I was like, is that Peter's spiffy sweater? Could it be? But no, it is not. But yeah,
I would say like the definitely led to assume that Peter is in fact like the killer, and then it's supposed to be this huge twist at the end where it's like, the killer was never caught. And like when I want to wait like a little minute, like a minute, until I like talk more about my interpretation of why I love this movie so much.
Oh, I'd love to hear it.
Like, okay, well, we can talk about it.
Yeah,
I think
please.
it's a really, really great psychological thriller, obviously, right? But I think it's a really good portrait of the way that women are constantly dismissed when in danger. Because we see so many times that when they go to the police station, the police officer automatically dismisses their case. And he doesn't listen until Claire's boyfriend, shows up and is talking to them. And then even then, he, like, this incompetent police officer still has more power than these competent women, right? And then when the lieutenant is talking to Jess on the phone, she's going through something that's very traumatic. She has to sit on the phone for as long as she can, listening to these terrible, horrible things that the killer is saying on the phone. And every single time, the police officer's like, you just have to hold on longer. Like, sorry about it. There's nothing we can do. Like, you just have to figure it out. And constantly, we just see the women be dismissed in this movie. And then we see this terrible, horrible thing happen with Jess and her boyfriend. Peter's not a good guy. We can see that the whole time, right? Yeah. And I think... Sorry, there's police sirens going by. I'm going to wait.
Rachel, they're in your attic. They're in your attic. They're coming to save you. The moaner has invaded.
Look out. It's going to be crazy.
We see the women constantly get dismissed. And then we do know that there's another killer out on the loose. There's that teenage girl's body that was found, right? And so, in my mind, it's like, okay, the ending to me is like, okay, they technically caught Peter. He's still a bad force in these women's lives, right? Mm-hmm. But in my mind, there is always going to be someone else who wants to hurt women. Like that, there's always going to be someone in your life who is going to want to hurt you at the drop of the hat, right? And so that's something that I feel like isn't addressed that much. And I think this is my take, is that this is why Black Christmas isn't remembered as much as Halloween, is because I feel like Black Christmas is a lot more feminist than Halloween is. So Halloween is like a typical scary horror movie, right? And it was made in, I think technically 79? 1970 or 78 maybe. Yeah, it was made in 78. Black Christmas was made in 74.
Oh, so Halloween was made in 78. Okay, I see what you're saying. I liked Black Christmas a lot more than I liked Halloween. I know Nathan might be a little bit sad to hear that, but yeah, this was way better. Yeah.
I truly believe the reason that Halloween is regarded like as the first slasher movie is because it's more palatable. That's my take.
Yeah. Yep. Wait, did you guys have thoughts of who killed the police officer outside? Because the police officer is
I
sitting in his car out there. Was it Peter, maybe? Or was it this?
Could
Could have been Peter. I don't know.
I don't know if the spooky attic, mysterious man was able to get into the attic just by climbing up. I think he could have slid down and taken care of that guy.
Yeah,
Or
maybe.
it could have been the other guy. It could have been the guy who was like outside and was worried and like hurting the children. It could have been that guy. Maybe they're a tag team. Maybe they're in cahoots. It's possible.
It is possible.
It was probably the guy from the attic, right? Because the guy in the attic can hear everything. I think because like when he calls and he starts talking about the motifs that Jess and Peter had in their fight, he could hear their fight, you know?
Yeah.
So I would assume that the police officer says like, hey, there's going to be somebody outside watching you guys. Good luck. I'm going to assume that he heard that. That's my guess.
That makes sense. Yeah. Do you guys want to dive into some roses and thorns? We're just talk about our least favorite parts and our favorite parts. Yeah, no, please.
It's simultaneously a rose and a thorn. Like, it's the reason this movie works.
It's the whole flower.
It's so infuriating to watch on screen, which is like the point, obviously. But they just don't ever check the attic.
No,
like,
yeah.
The only person that goes up in the attic is looking for their cat. Like, they're like, oh no, she's missing. Oh no, where could she possibly be? Let's search her room and that's it. Let's just give up looking. And then they just don't.
The cat is in the attic, though, right? The cat is in the attic. That's why they hear the meowing in the house, and they're like, wait, where's that coming from?
There's, like, a scene where the cat is, like, licking the plastic bag of Claire. It's
that's
terrible.
right.
I hate it.
Yeah.
I guess, I don't know.
Bad.
I don't know. Because why was... Like, you could say, well, why would they go in the attic? Why would they go... It's the attic. You never go in the attic. But, her name's Claire, right? Yeah?
Yeah.
Why was she in the attic?
Was murdered?
Yeah, why does she go up into the attic, huh? It doesn't, like...
Yeah.
A lot of these other women are traveling away for the holidays. Maybe they have stuff stored up in the attic, too. Maybe. I don't know.
It is infuriating.
It's like a very likely place to look. But that's just me.
In my, like, analysis, it's also, like, not a... What is it? It's like a kind of... it's showing you how incompetent the police are, right? It's showing you, Officer Nash, he's in charge. He gets to decide what gets passed on to the lieutenant, right? Mm-hmm. He's a stupid man. He is very, very stupid. Oh, there's a scene where the lieutenant goes into Claire's room, and Phil and Jess are talking about what they know about Claire, and they make the lieutenant is making like bad assumptions about Claire based on her room. At one point, the lieutenant is like picking stuff up, and he asks Justin Phil, he's like, well, are you for sure that this is how she left it? And he's like moving stuff around. It's like very clear that this is a botched police investigation in like every sense of the word.
Yeah, definitely. And they should have an officer in that house as well. Like, ugh. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. The way that the other like police guys like make fun of Nash too. You would think they wouldn't send him out to go out and do stuff. You would think that he would be just like,
let that man go.
Let that man go. Make him like the police officer equivalent of a water boy. Whatever that may be.
Yeah, that's what he should be doing.
Yeah, I don't know. I think costumes in this movie were really, really good. I kind of already hopped on the Peter sweater, but like,
oh
man. Man, does Jess have a good outfit? Barb has a good outfit. Everybody looks good. Everybody looks good in this movie. I love a lot of the shots in this movie. The shots where they're like wandering around through like the phone call data center with all like devices, and you like watch the camera like walk through all like.
We see the like the killer POV a few times as well, which is always
POV shots.
super
cool. And the slow zoom shots where they just slowly zoom in on somebody. It's like so cool.
It is
like
cool.
Crazy.
It is cool.
Very nice. I love those.
Yeah. Did you have any thorns? I don't know. I can't think of like specific ones on my end. I guess I don't know. Like I said before, this is a movie where like the whole premise is that you understand what's happening the entire time, but the characters don't know what's happening the entire time, and that's kind of what makes it like eerie and freaky and scary. Yeah, I think my biggest rose is the setting. I think this being the first like categorized slash movie really makes sense because a house full of sorority girls and like most of them are going home for Christmas break is a beautiful setup, and it really like it lends itself to the slasher genre perfectly. And I think that's why most slasher movies these days are like, we're gonna play truth or dare and teenagers are gonna die. I'm a little bit tired of slasher movies that have come out recently, I guess. There's been a few good ones, but yeah, in recent years they really have taken teenagers get punished and really gone with that. I guess this is where the trope got established, and I think I understand why people are like, "Oh, this system works," because this does work really well, and I feel like all these actors absolutely crush it. Jess being the main character, I didn't know Jess was gonna be the main character. I thought Barb was gonna be the main girl, but no, Barb.
I did because I checked the cast.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
Movie, and Jess's actress's name showed up second.
Yeah.
No, she showed up first, and then
Yeah.
Then Margot Kidder's name showed up second, and she's Barb.
I-
She's also Lois Lane.
She is Lois Lane,
which I thought was very cool.
and
So I was
Peter.
rooting for her.
And
Yeah, and Peter
is the main guy in 2001: A Space Odyssey.
That's true.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
have a recurring man.
Is it Dave is his name? I don't know actually. But yeah.
The guy who goes on a crazy journey of colors and tells how to open up the pod bay doors.
Yeah, it is David. Don't do this, David. Don't do this.
Big news for people who like pointing at their screen when they recognize somebody. That's me. That's me. I do that.
Hold on. Did you guys ever see, like, in 9th grade English, 1968, Romeo and Juliet?
No, I don't think so. Is he in that as well?
I watched a random stage production of it, but Mercutio was really good at that version, so I was fine with it.
That's fair. Olivia Hussey, the girl who plays Jess, she is the main character in that Romeo adaptation.
Oh,
she's
cool.
Juliet, and so
Makes sense.
the reason that sorry, a little bit of a sidetrack. That production is kind of like controversial because Olivia Hussey was, I want to say, like 14 when they filmed it, and then the guy who played Romeo was 17. So they tried to get it really close to their age, like their ages in Romeo and Juliet. And then the actors did in fact start dating. So
huge.
Do with that.
Yikes. Rachel, did you have any specific roses and thorns for us? I think that's kind of all of mine. I'm out of thorns. I don't know if you had more as well, Colin, but yeah, let's talk about our kind of final thoughts here.
I don't know. I think it was I thought it was really good. I won't say it was exciting all of the time. I do think it takes a few breaks, like dips in like I have to be like, okay, I'm focusing, I'm watching an old movie now, it needs all of my attention. There are no flying shapes and colors to look at, right? Like every scene where they're in the police station, I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm watching a movie. I'm watching, like I have to like turn those gears in my brain and be like, yes, I'm not going to look at my phone. I'm not going to look at my phone. But whatever, that's a me thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I do think it's more sporadically scary though. For me at least, when I was watching, I was just like, wait, what the? Like every now and again.
But when it gets scary, it gets really scary, I feel like.
Yeah, the last like 30 minutes of this movie where like it's like, dude, is it Peter? Dude, is it Peter? What if it's Peter? What if it's he's in the dude, what? Like that little chunk is pretty crazy. And the haunting final zoom out frame where you can still see Claire through the window
and hear the phone call.
Yeah. And you hear the phone call, and it's just like zooming out, and it's the same shot of the house, the same establishing shot of sorority house. That was like, I don't know. I like it when movies kind of like start and end in like similar places like that. And so it like kind of bookending the film with like the same shot of the house, just like,
They really do.
Easy way to make you like your movie.
They really,
easy way.
Yeah. They really do train your brain to hear that phone call and be like, feel the dread, because it is each time. It's like, oh no, what is the motor gonna say this time? He's gonna moan.
I would say that my biggest thorn is the exposition and the way that the exposition is given in the dialogue. That is like that's like my biggest thorn, is that I do not like that. I wish that they did it a little bit smoother. If at sometimes like exposition feels very clunky to me. But it like there's at one point where some of the search party comes and knocks on the back door, and they scare Phil. Phil's like, Jess, and then they open the door, and then they like talk to the search party, and they're like, the search party's like, make sure you lock your doors, and the girls are like, well, yes, of course we've been. Another example of how women aren't taken seriously, back to my prior point. Anyways, so then like these guys will not stop hounding them about like locking their doors, and then finally the girls close the door and they just laugh because like of course they're locking their doors, and the guys on the other side of the door is like, yes, good job, we did a really good job here tonight. But they like the girls are laughing, and then at one point Phil says like, but did you know that this door and the front door are the only doors that lock in this house? Who'd have thought it? Like there are a couple of moments of that where like the exposition that they're trying to give is just clunky, and it's really bad. And because there's also another time where Mrs. Mack is like, hey, by the way, I'm gonna go to my sister's, so I might not be here when you get back. And then that's when she gets killed, right? And so it's like, by the way, I'm leaving, goodbye. And then that's like a little plot hole cover up, it feels like. Anyways, that's my biggest thorn. I love everything else. I would say my biggest rose is just, like I said, how quintessentially 70s it is. It's so 70s, and I love the 70s because all of it's like garish and wonderful, and I love it so much.
I love this movie. I thought this was awesome. Do you guys want to jump into our scoring and see where this movie lands on our bucket charts?
I can go. I'll do it.
Perfect.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. I don't know, it was just a good time. I don't know if I would say it's underrated, but I think it is kind of underappreciated kind of as a Christmas movie, you know? Like, I don't hear this one talked about in the same circles, you know? I hear about Die Hard more than I hear about this movie. I guess that's just because the Die Hard people are super defensive about it. But, whatever. To each their own. But I liked it a lot. Very little things I would change about it. Pretty entertaining throughout with a few dips in there. Like the overall message. Like it. 95 out of 100.
Okay.
90.
A 95. I think this movie definitely, I think this movie really stood out to me as well. I was expecting to like it, and I did like it. So I'm going to hit this movie with a 91. I think that's a good range. I'm a little worried to go, because I did Brokeback Mountain at a 92, which feels less, but we all know the rules of the bucket. Once the episode's over, the score is locked in. We can't go back and change the score. I'm gonna do a 91 with this movie. I like this movie a lot. Thought it was a good time. Okay. Rachel, let's hear your score for Black Christmas.
Truly and completely, the only thing that I would change about this movie is the really clunky bits of exposition. 98, solid 98. I used to watch this movie every year. Like I said, I think my horror movie tolerance has gone down because I did have to take a break, and I would say, I don't think Kermit made it in for part of the thing, but I do have this Kermit pillow that is my comfort pillow. I did have to bring him out for the ending of Black Christmas, even though I did it so many times.
I had some tension get dissolved for me because I had to watch this with ads because I just watched it on whatever,
on Tubi.
I watched it on Fandango, and maybe like 30 ads played throughout this entire thing, like little blocks of 5 ads at a time. I'd say 25 out of the 30 were for the Golf Channel. So they were promoting different golf shows. One of the golf shows was how to improve your form at 50 years old and above, which I think is most golf players. And I was like, they made a whole show about that. But yeah, so I think I did get some tension cut for me because every once in a while it was like, join the golf network, and I was like, oh, I don't know about that. So that maybe that's why I'm really scared of scary movies too. I get jeepered, I get creepered, I shake in my boots, my lip quivers. But yeah, this one wasn't too scary. That, and it's old as well. But yeah, guys, that puts Black Christmas at a 94.66, and that is in third place for the greatest movie of all time. That's kind of incredible. I think it fits. Black Christmas is right behind. Second place is Brokeback Mountain, of course. And our first place movie is still Parasite with a 99.33, and Brokeback Mountain is a 96.25.
I don't think we're ever going to be able to beat Parasite.
I'm
so scared that we're never.
I mean, Parasite is 2 points off from having a perfect score, so we definitely gotta. I don't know. It's gonna be hard to beat it. We have some movies on our list here that are that can pack a punch. So I don't think it's it's totally set on its throne. But Parasite was a transcendent viewing experience. Loved Parasite. Had a similar creepy eyeball scene. And had a similar kind of concept with frogging.
Parasite. This is Black
Sorry. Awesome. Yeah, guys, any last thoughts about Black Christmas? I really enjoyed my time. I thought it was really scary. I thought it was fun. I thought it was a great pick for a Christmas movie, Rachel. That's incredible. Would you say, sorry, Rachel, I'm curious about your favorite movie because I thought Black Christmas was it.
Of all time?
Yeah, what's your favorite movie of all time?
I'll give you 4 of them. Number 1, the Sparks Brothers documentary. Number 2, Rocket Man. Number 3, Romeo plus Juliet, the Baz Luhrmann one from 1996. Number 4, Across the Universe, a jukebox musical about the Beatles. Not about the Beatles, excuse me.
What?
Using the Beatles songs, following the Vietnam War, Lucy and Jude who are in love. Anyways, those are my top 4 favorite films.
Fight Club isn't in there?
No, I would say that if I did a top 10, both Black Christmas and Fight Club.
Okay.
Both of them would be in there.
There you go.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Easy.
Awesome, guys. I think that's about all we have for you. Thank you so much for tuning into the first recorded episode of The Bucket. This actually might come out second. Who knows? We have Anchorman to talk about too. Sorry.
This is going to come out second.
Yeah, we're putting Anchorman first. We should put Anchorman first.
Probably.
We'll hide the score for this one. But yeah, we'll throw Anchorman in there first. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We have been The Bucket. This is Bucket Bells, the Christmas movie spectacular. Tune in the rest of the month. We got How the Grinch Stole Christmas, starring Jim Carrey, and The Holdovers to talk about. So if you want to watch those movies and tune into the episode, please do. It's going to be a blast. Thank you guys so much for watching. I've been Ben.
I've been Rachel.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm Colin.
Awesome. Awesome. Do we have an outro for The Bucket? What's our bucket outro?
Usually we say like it's 2:30 at the greatest time zone on Earth, but it's not.
Yeah.
We're recording
when we're not on a live, bro. Whatever. Like and subscribe.
We for sure. For sure.
Subscribe button down below.
Smash the subscribe button. Yeah, awesome. You've been in the bucket. Now you're out of the bucket. Bye.